Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'd love to, if you can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up. Looks like we got one person on. Some could give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm Mandy. I'm a registered dietitian here at Nutrisystem, and I'm jumping on today to talk about cravings. So if you could, in the comments, I would love to know which Nutrisystem snack is your favorite. I'm going to share some of mine as we go through this live today. Hey Danielle, hey Deanna. So it looks like we are good. Everybody can hear me. All right, so before I get started, I'd love to know, what do you struggle with more, sweet or salty cravings? Are you more of a dessert person, or do you struggle with the salty snacks like chips and fries? Personally, I love every snack, so I think it really just depends on the day. Danielle, that's one of my favorites too, the white cheddar popcorn. I actually have it right here with me. It's so good. All right, well, as the comments come in, I'm gonna get started. So let's dive in. All right, so my first tip to help you overcome a craving is to find a healthier alternative. And if you're craving something sweet, you can reach for a piece of fruit, frozen, fresh, unsweetened. And if you're dying for something salty, you can try some of the popcorn, like the white cheddar popcorn from Nutrisystem, or roasted veggie chips. And one of the best things you can do is really try a homemade version of whatever it is that you're craving. So that way you can kind of control what goes into it. And we have some amazing recipes, from healthy nice cream, mug cakes, puddings, cakes, and so much more on our weight loss blog, The Leaf. There's also tons of recipes for salty snacks made healthier, like popcorn, chips, crackers, even fries. I know there's air fryer recipes up on there. So if you haven't checked out The Leaf yet, definitely do that. It's leaf.nutrisystem.com. Check out some of those recipes. And I know there's even recipes for salad dressing, which is often, a hidden source of sodium and sugar. So, by using these recipes or your own recipes and controlling what you put in them, like herbs and seasonings instead of salt, fresh fruit instead of sugar, and some of the baked goods, and you can be sure to satisfy your cravings without destroying your progress. And obviously, this is where Nutrisystem foods can really help. We have all kinds of tasty snacks, both sweet and salty, that are made with the best balance of nutrients and satisfy cravings without derailing your diet. So, for me personally, I brought some of the snacks here with me that are my favorite. So, like I said earlier, the white cheddar popcorn is probably my go-to. At least recently anyway. And then I love chocolate, so the Nutri chocolates and the chocolate covered pretzels, probably my favorites in terms of the chocolate items. And then I also love the biscotti bites. I know they're a breakfast, but sometimes I eat them as a snack with some yogurt, so they're really good. All right, and then if you're just joining us too, hello. Talking about cravings here, and I asked everybody to kind of put in the comments what their favorite Nutrisystem snack is, so I'd love to hear what it is. So my second tip is to really check in with yourself. Sometimes we eat for reasons not related to hunger. We're bored, we're stressed, especially during times like these. Sometimes we eat when we're upset, we're celebrating, and really those are all normal reasons to eat sometimes. But it's really important, especially as you're trying to lose weight and get on a healthier journey, to figure out what is real physical hunger and what is kind of mental hunger. So we can be more in touch on how to satisfy hunger, whatever it is. So, begin to start recognizing some of your hunger and fullness cues so that you learn what really is physical hunger. those sensations like a growling stomach, being hangry, a sense of stomach heaviness, lightheadedness, those are all signs of physical hunger. So, start paying attention to those. And a great practice is to even write down how you feel before and after a meal. And then once you begin to recognize those physical hunger uh, symptoms, you can begin to tell what's physical or what's mental. And if a craving ends up being a true mental hunger, you can combat this by journaling or going for a walk or calling a friend, doing some meditation or yoga. The key is really to find something that works for you when you're struggling with being bored or stressed. So my next tip is to track what you're eating each day. Tracking your daily intake. We talk about this a lot. It will help you pinpoint kind of what prompted your cravings. If you're not eating enough protein, if you miss some of your grocery additions earlier in the day, if you're having too few carbs, when you're mindful of your habits, you're more likely to address them. So I love Numi for this reason. And if you don't know, Numi is our free online tracking tool that makes it super simple to log your food, your drinks, activity, weight, and a lot more. It's a really great app. And it's also got lots of articles and weight loss tips as well. So my fourth tip is to drink more water. Many times dehydration masks itself as a craving for sugary or salty foods. So definitely you can prevent this by setting a daily water intake goal like we recommend at Nutrisystem, at least 64 ounces of water, and keeping in mind physical exertion. So if you're exercising or if it's super hot outside, definitely drink more. And to hydrate really well. It's super important to be hydrated. And if a craving is upon you and it's, you can chug a glass of water first and see if it passes. That's another thing. It's another trick. My fifth tip is to make sure you're getting enough sleep. And if you caught my live last week, you heard how important good quality sleep is and how it plays a role in losing fat. And it also, regulates our blood sugar, our hormones, and it regulates our hunger, our cravings, and our appetite. So when we don't sleep well, one of the hormones called leptin goes down, which leptin tells us when we're full. And ghrelin, which is another hormone, goes up. So this stimulates hunger. So when you are lacking sleep, pretty much, our body doesn't tell us when we're full as quickly, and it also tells us to eat more. And it can also change our actual cravings and lend us to craving some of those not so healthy foods. So if you're struggling with sleep, try to come up with a pre-sleep ritual to help signal your body that it's time to sleep. So I know I did this when my kids were babies. We had a routine and a ritual, and it makes sense for us as adults too. So, some of those things for a ritual could be to dim the lights, listen to calming music or white noise, turn off your devices, journal, drink herbal tea, or take a hot shower. But it's important to find what works for you. And then my seventh tip, is to empower yourself. So oftentimes stress is to blame. I talked about this in one of the previous tips for those pesky salt or sweet cravings. When we try to juggle life's many demands or deal with hardships, it's tempting to turn to food as a means to soothe, comfort, or reward our overworked minds and bodies. So instead of coming up with a reason to give in to those cravings, remind yourself that you deserve to treat yourself, right? So instead of reaching for a bag of chips when you're stressed, reach for a journal, treat yourself in, healthier ways. Sorry, I'm sitting outside and I can feel the pollen going into my mouth as I talk. So, you could journal, you could put on your walking shoes and go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, play with the dog, get out your yoga mat, do a couple yoga stretches. And if you could use a little encouragement, pick up the phone and call a friend or a loved one So start training your mind to embrace healthy stress responses. You know, stress is normal and it's healthy to have it, but it's really the amount of stress that we have and how we deal with it. So, you know, practice self-love. Assure yourself that you're not eating unhealthy food, that unhealthy food that is actually the best thing for you. So those are my top tips for crushing cravings. What do you guys think? Could they be helpful for you? Definitely tell me below. I'm going to look comments. Cheese puffs, the sweet and salty bar, chocolate covered pretzels. Yep, there's a lot of those. Definitely let me know which ones you think you can do, what's going to be helpful for you in the comments. And you know, the goal of these lives is to help support you guys in the best way possible. So always let us know if you found them helpful or if you could use additional information. We're always looking for inspiration for these lives. We love doing them, but we want to serve you guys. So definitely don't be shy in letting us know what you need help with. All right. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. You know, be sure to come back here next Thursday. I'll be here at 5:30 Eastern Time again for our next set of tips, which we're going to be talking barbecue survival tips with Memorial Day coming. So I thank you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and enjoy your weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.